This video is going to cover working with formulas, specifically taking a formula and solving it for a specified variable. For example, I have the equation 2x plus 3y equals z, and I want to solve this for x. The process we use is very similar to what we would do for just a linear equation. For example, if this 3y were a number and the z were a number, we would know how to solve that equation. If this were 2x plus 6 equals 10, we would get the x by itself by minusing the 6 first. So now we've got 2x equals 4, and then we would divide both sides by 2. That gives me x equal 2. Let's go back to the formula given and try to follow that exact same process. So I'm trying to get the x by itself, so the first step is to get rid of this 3y term. It's a plus 3y, so I have to minus 3y from both sides. That means on the left-hand side, the 3y's are gone, and I'm just left with 2x. On the right-hand side, I've got z minus 3y. Because those are like terms, we can't do anything, because those are not like terms, we can't do anything with that right-hand side. We're just going to leave it as z minus 3y. Now, we're still trying to get x by itself, so the next step is to get rid of the 2. That means I have to divide both sides by 2. Now I'm just left with x equals, and there's two different ways you can write your answer. You can leave your answer as z minus 3y all over 2, because that entire quantity, whatever it is, gets divided by 2. So you can leave your answer as one single fraction. The other way you can write your answer, I have to the right on the screen. When you are dividing by 2, technically you want to divide both of those terms by 2. So you could write the answer as x equals z over 2 minus 3y divided by 2. These two answers are equivalent. They mean the exact same thing, and you can express your answer in either form. All right, let's take a look at another example. Solve for b, and we have the formula a equals 1/2 b times h. So we're trying to get b by itself, so we're going to have to get rid of the 1/2 and the h. Thinking back to when we worked with equations with fractions, the first step was to clear the fraction, and we can actually use that trick here. If we want to get rid of that 1/2, we can multiply both sides by my least common denominator. In this case, that would just be 2. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take both sides of the equation and multiply it by 2. That's my denominator, and that will get rid of that fraction. So now I have 2a on the left. And on the right-hand side, when we take 2 times 1/2, that turns into a 1. And I'm just left with 1bh. So now we've got the equation 2a equals 1bh. We're trying to get b by itself, so we have to get rid of the h. Notice the h is being multiplied by the b, so we're going to divide both sides by h. Okay, so it was b times h, so we divide both sides by h. That gets rid of the h's on that right-hand side. And on the left side, we are left with 2a divided by h. And that's it. That's my answer. We can't simplify that any further because we don't know what a or h are. So there's my final answer. b equals 2a divided by h. All right, let's run through one more example. Solve for m, and we have the equation rs squared minus tm equals w. So I'm trying to get the m by itself. So the first step is we want to isolate the term with m. That means I have to get rid of that rs squared. It's a positive rs squared, and so to move it to the other side, I have to subtract it. So I'm going to subtract rs squared from both sides. The left-hand side, I'm just left with the negative tm. So the rs squared is gone on the left, and we're just left with negative tm. On the right-hand side, again, we don't have any like terms, so we just have to write this as w minus rs squared. All right, and then finally, we're trying to get that m by itself. We want to get rid of the negative t. The negative t is being multiplied by the m, so we're going to divide both sides by negative t. That allows us to cancel out the negative t on the left-hand side, and now our equation is solved for m. There's a couple ways we can write our answer. We can leave it as w minus rs squared over negative t, just as one single fraction. Again, both the w minus rs squared are being divided by the negative t. We can also indicate, and I have some work written on the top of the screen, we can also take each term, so the w gets divided by the negative t, and then the minus rs squared gets divided by the negative t as well. So instead of writing it as one fraction, we can split this up and write it as two fractions, each one having that divide by negative t. And this answer can be simplified a little bit further. W divided by negative t is the same thing as negative w over t. And then the second term, notice you have a negative divided by a negative. That's going to turn into a positive. And so you can write that second term as plus rs squared over t. Again, it doesn't matter how you write your answer. These two answers are equivalent. They mean the same thing, and both are appropriate ways of expressing that answer. All right, that was my last example in this video. Please let me know if anything is unclear.